Hey folks, my name is Jürgen, aka Nerd and Proud of It, and Destiny has brought you to my channel today to discuss if Magic the Gathering has suffered permanent damage in the last couple of months. So, the state of Magic the Gathering as a whole is what I want to discuss today, and to do that I actually got a couple of cards, player rewards. Unfortunately, Jonesy had claimed them, so I had to fight him for them, so I could sort some cards and ramble for a bit, talk about a couple of points. I actually have 5 points to talk about, but I did want to do that with not only floating hands in the video, but with sorting a couple of cards, so something is happening. Yes, you see it here, Jonesy claimed the cards. It's impossible for me to get them. Alright, no, in the end I succeeded, of course. He was very protective of the player rewards. I discovered those recently. I bought a couple and now I bought a couple more. They are not very expensive, but I think they are really cool. I needed to fill out some playsets because I want to have playsets of these cards, and we were gonna add them to the binder for now, and I'm just gonna ramble on while showing the cards. I think those are amazing. So yeah, I'm discovering more of the old stuff, which distracts me from the new stuff, which I'm not that happy about at the moment, but I still want to talk about it. Don't make these videos too often anymore. I'm not a negative person, at least I don't consider myself to be, but in the end, I think it is necessary to talk about the state of Magic the Gathering once in a while, especially because we shouldn't forget what happened end of last year. And let's jump right into that with the big reason end of last year was a disaster, the Magic the Gathering 30th anniversary edition and how it is looking now. There is apparently a secondary market for the Magic the Gathering 30th anniversary cards. I personally do not engage in that part of the hobby at all. I still think we all should stay away from it, but if you want to buy some, of course, if that is what makes you enjoy the hobby, by all means buy the 30th anniversary edition cards. People say it doesn't matter if you buy them now because Wizards doesn't earn anything from them anymore, but I think it still is a bad statement that something we all despise suddenly becomes interesting simply because it's very rare. If there's a niche market for it, fine, but I personally think it would be better if we all stay away from that. It might give Wizards of the Coast strange ideas for the future. The whole idea of the product was bad, so yeah, I think even now I can't justify buying any of it, but that's me. And yeah, if again I never say when it was released I said we shouldn't buy this, please don't buy this, but yeah, it's in the end it's your decision, of course. I can tell you what to do and I don't want to tell you what to do. I just will explain to you why I think it would be a bad idea to engage in the secondary market of that product. I hear a lot of voices reasoning that it's okay to buy the 30th anniversary edition cards. I don't think it is, but everybody their own thing. What happened after the 30th anniversary edition had a cataclysmic effect on the whole collector part of the game, and I think that is a very bad thing. A lot of collectors seem to have left the game or are currently leaving the game. The inventory of old sets, especially ABU and the Four Horsemen sets on the market, is incredibly high, higher than it has been in years. You can check that out for yourself. You can look at a couple of videos people like Alpha Horda made who keep good track of the market. You can just look at cards you are generally interested in. I personally have a couple of cards I was interested in and still might be interested in from Unlimited, Alpha, Antiquities, Arabian Nights, and there are more on the market than there have been in the last couple of years for better prices. So it is very clear that a lot of people are out and have liquidated their collections, and if those collections might get absorbed and then the prices will stabilize again, I'm not sure. I think it is a big problem. I think we should all be aware that there is a possibility MTG won't recover from that, because even the big guns can't absorb all the inventory that is currently in the market. And on the other hand, you could argue it's a good thing. It's a good thing short term. Long term, it's a bad thing for the health of the game. Because if people are out and people are not interested anymore, then it's definitely hurting the game in the long run. There is no doubt about it. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to acknowledge that. I mean, every player, especially if it's a dedicated player that has been around for a while, is as valuable as every new player, of course. But those old players are teaching the game over the years to many, many, many other players, and are engaging with a lot of new players and bringing a lot of new players in. And in general, have done so much for the game that will be difficult to compensate for, in my opinion. Every player is valued the same in my eyes. If my son just started to play with me, he played a couple of games, he's as valuable to the health of the game as am I, who has been playing for 30 years. So yeah, it is a bad sign if those people who have so much love built up leave the game. And that, I think, is the difference between old players and new players, because all the love and nostalgia, something you have stuck with for 30 years, you're suddenly leaving because of something like the 30th anniversary edition, to me is disastrous for the game. But okay. So the market is flooded. The players, some players are out. What does Wizards of the Coast do? Because the 30th anniversary edition didn't bring the revenue they expected, they are reprinting everything into the ground. And those reprints are hurting the game even more than the 30th anniversary edition did. Because the 30th anniversary edition just damaged the cards that are really valuable and have been sitting in collections for a long time. And not to play down the fact that this is very, very bad in my opinion, but that there is no value in new cards will keep players from getting in, will keep players from spending money, and it will keep overall, it will keep the overall health and state of the game not where it should be. So I think the reprints are very, very bad, and they need to do it because otherwise the sets don't sell. You have seen, nobody's talking about the results they posted of Q4, like in Q1, the financial results, which were really bad. And suddenly we all expected it, and everyone was like, oh yeah, we knew. That was clear, but nobody really analyzed it like they did the months before. And Wizards, of course, kept pretty quiet about it as well, because once they earn money and they have record numbers, they shout it from the rooftops. But once it's not going so well, they just shut up and go with the flow and hope it gets better. There have been some changes in the Hasbro chain of command I have seen. There are some news articles about that. Nobody talked about that neither, which is very surprising to me. I didn't neither, because I was in the mood to talk about other stuff and more positive stuff, but I think it's worth a mention. So things might change. There might be change coming. I don't know. I'm not quite sure, but there needs to be something happening at Wizards of the Coast directly. The people in charge there at the moment are not very good for the health of the game, in my opinion. And we need to stop those reprints. Cards need to have value. Cards need to retain value over a longer period of time. I think Rudy suggested that we should reprint fetch lands only every 5 years. We're down to like $10 for a fetch land. And I know it's game pieces, but in the end, if nobody buys boosters because you can get everything on the secondary market for 50 cents, it doesn't make sense. It's a collectible card game. The whole system is built on value of individual cards. I I can't understand the short-term thinking. It's very disturbing to me. The release schedule hasn't really changed. We're still getting a lot of releases. I have opened a few Phyrexia boosters, but I have not bought any new product because of that. Because just once I do it, we're already in the next set. March of the Machine is coming out and has just been released during pre-release weekend. Of course it looks cool, and yeah, it would be fun to play a draft. Maybe I can get to an LGS and just buy a pre-release kit to participate in a sealed deck or whatever. It's fine, but in the end, not gonna buy boxes of this. Not gonna buy boxes of upcoming sets because it's just too much, and it doesn't matter because the cards in there are not really interesting to me because everything has been reprinted so often and is going to be reprinted even more. Even if you're a Commander player, now the Commander cards in these sets that are being released probably will be reprinted in the next Commander, how's it called? I don't know. Masters, Commander Masters, I think it's called. Yes. Then you can get the cards there. What's the point? It doesn't make sense at all. Overall, folks, consumer confidence is still at a low, and you see that everything I just mentioned, like Magic the Gathering 30th. Really bad for consumer confidence. Market is flooded with product. Really bad for consumer confidence because it seems like nobody wants the product. Players are out. Really bad for consumer confidence. Reprints, totally bad for people who enjoy the game and consumer confidence. And of course the release schedule. If I have the feeling I can't keep up, it's really bad for consumer confidence. So there are 5 very basic points that are really, really bad for Magic the Gathering. And I think we still need to talk about that. Doesn't take away from the fact that I still enjoy the game. It doesn't take away from the fact that the sets that are coming out, although it's too many sets, definitely, for me at least, and I think for most of us, the sets are quite good. The couple I played, the couple of sets I played drafts with, or I did a tower, or I just opened a few boosters. It looked fun. Don't argue about that. I definitely don't. But it's not everything together is not good. the whole how do you call it, infrastructure, the whole system, the whole Magic the Gathering universe is out of balance. I think something definitely needs to happen, and the game has taken damage, and that's mainly because of the 30th anniversary edition, because that was like fueling the change or fueling the behavior that has changed. People buying less, people leaving the game, people liquidating their collections, people not giving a shit about new sets anymore because everything is being reprinted too much, simply too much. So all those things have been fueled, and by the 30th anniversary edition, it functioned as a catalyst to everything that has happened now, in my opinion. I am very curious what you think about this. It's a subject I don't intend to address too often, and I think I have been addressing it in a very calm manner because I had to keep myself in. It makes me angry. I don't like to see the game getting hurt. And I don't like to see people leaving the game that have been with the game for so long, as I don't like see people leaving the game that have just started. I had some friends, I got into the game and they were like, yeah, what is happening now? And I can't keep up, and that is too much, and that's overwhelming. I just stop again. So yeah, even for new players, it's not good. Not only talking about the old players. And there probably are enough people that still enjoy Magic the Gathering, but yeah. in the end, I think it's going into the wrong direction. Bottom line. Let me know. Let me know what you think. Big sigh. Folks, stay healthy, stay frosty. Leave a comment, leave a like, and explain to me what you think the state of Magic the Gathering is at the moment. If the game is in a good place or if the game is in a bad place. Very curious. Thanks a lot for listening, folks. Bye bye.